lawful wedded husband.
To be my...
Valentin. Not Valentin's heart. With a tramp like you.
Well, I know it hurts being third rate, but aren't you accustomed to it yet?
Oh, Robin, I see you.
I myself the slut of Springfield!
Son of a bitch in heat. I found out myself what love is all about.
Hey everybody, it's me, Nikki. Ain't got nothing. Also, she has to repay the money that she already spent from the sale of Windermere. She no longer has Windermere, and it's just like, so where the hell is Ava staying at this point? So, you know, Sonny finds out that the money belongs to two-year-old Ace. He's, you know, a happy little giddy, and then Alexis poses, hey, go ahead and take Charlie's back from Christina. I don't want her tied up in any of your business, and the longer she runs it, the sooner she'll be on FBI's radar. So go ahead and take it back. And he was like, listen, I can't do that because that would break her heart. And I don't want to, you know, break her heart or give her another emotional blow. So at this point in time, Sonny ain't going to take Charlie's back. She going to be running Charlie's. And after Sonny leaves Alexis, he goes to the gym. He working out, he shadowboxing, and then he has chest pains and collapses, and he over here trying to reach. I was like, is it a heart attack? Is it a broken heart? Panic, anxiety, what is going on? He trying to reach for the phone. Oh no. So Ava drops by Laura's office, and you know, they make a little small talk to talk about Lulu, and then Ava cuts to the chase, and she was like, listen, my custody battle for Avery is going to get very expensive, and I'm broke. And, you know, whoever this mystery Cassadine family member is taking all her money. And she was like, listen, I hate to inform you this, but the mystery Cassadine who stole your money is Ace. He's the sole heir of the money, and there's nothing I can do about it. And Ava's like, really agitated, and she was like, listen, you got to help me get the money back. And Laura once again says that's just not gonna happen. She can't do anything for you. Alexis can't do anything for you. No one can do anything for you because this is the Greek government. This is the Greek banking system. We talk about you got to go to Greece to figure out what is going on. Can't nobody help you in Port Charles. And Laura was like, listen, I believe, you know, you're entitled to the money, but it was out of my hands. It's like, she can't do anything. It's going to be a repetitive thing of, they can't do anything for you, Ava, because it's out of their hands. Ava is like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then she finds out that Alexis is the trustee. So she like, okay, next stop, I'm going to Alexis. She gonna help me get this money back. And when she pops up, Alexis looked at her and said, listen, I'm only for people who can pay for my time, and slammed the door in her face. I was like, baby, that's messy. But it's like, what did you think was going to happen? Y'all not cool like that? We cool like that? Y'all not cool like that. So Valentin comes stomping in the cafe, and he approaches Lulu and Charlotte. He was like, hi, Charlotte, having a good visit with your mother? And Charlotte is like thanking him for letting her see Lulu. And he was like, let me get some time with your mama so we can talk privately. So he congratulates Lulu on, you know, her recovering. And she told him she was well enough so Charlotte could come home with her. And he was like, listen, that's not going to happen. Charlotte has not had you for the past 4 years. She's been with me. She's going to continue being with me. She's okay. She'll need you. And I was like, every kid needs a mother who actually loves and cares about them and wants to protect them. And the fact that he's being so selfish to try to keep her away from her mother is crazy enough. Like, you made your bed, now you got to lie in it. You were the one going after Sonny. You were the one making deals with Pikeman and doing all of this stuff. Come on now, don't be that damn selfish. So they get to arguing, and she was like, listen, you being on the run is no life for a teenage girl. And it's not fair for her to live in this kind of world, away from her friends, away from her family, and, you know, away from all of us. Like, that's not fair to her. And Valentin thought, you know, Lulu was being presumptuous and putting out that Lulu and Charlotte barely even have or had a relationship. And it's just like, damn, that's messy. And he's just like, you know, you're an intriguing person for Charlotte to have a lunch with every once in a while. You're a mother in name only. I'm the only parent Charlotte is known for most of her life. I'm not abandoning her. And it's just like, come on now, you can't really do that to Lulu because Lulu never knew about Charlotte. Her eggs were taken and were harvested and put into... Lulu could have a slew of children out there that she knows nothing about. Like, let's be clear on something. Her eggs were stolen, and, you know, obviously, Britt stole one of her eggs, and that's how Rocco was born. And then, oh, girl, what was her? Cassandra? No, that wasn't her name. It was something else. It was Claudette. Claudette was, you know, had the eggs implanted in her, and boom, you have Charlotte. Rocco would have never been found out had it not been for the fact that Britt and Nicholas had been a thing for a hot second. And when it came to Charlotte, that was a big old mystery. But we don't know how many kids Lulu has out there in the world because her eggs were stolen and implanted in a slew of people. And when you say, oh, you're a mother in name only, well, it's kind of hard to be a mother when you wanted Nina to be Charlotte's mother. You wanted Claudette to be Charlotte's mother. You wanted Anna to be Charlotte's mother. You wanted everybody but Lulu to be Charlotte's mother. And you never actually fostered a relationship between Lulu and Charlotte. You never actually tried to foster a relationship between mother and daughter because you felt like Lulu didn't deserve it. And it's just like, yeah, Lulu was kind of a bitch when she found out, but that's her kid. And now she has two kids that she never actually got to carry herself, all because somebody decided to play God with her eggs. Be so fucking for real right now. Be so for real. And so, you know, Lulu got to argue with Valentin that, you know, it wouldn't be abandoning Charlotte if she sent her to live a normal life in Port Charles with her mother, and sooner or later, whoever is chasing you is going to find you. And she says, I just want to make sure my daughter is not caught in the crossfire when they do. And here's the problem. Lulu, you led the people who are chasing Valentin straight to him because you like talking to strangers. You like talking to strangers. So, you know, Valentin decides, you know what? I'm going to prove to you that her living in Port Charles is not safer. Let me go ahead and throw this on you. Anna shot her last year. And Lulu was refusing to believe Anna would do such a thing. And he had to explain that it was an accident. Victor brainwashed Charlotte into thinking that Anna was going to do something to Valentin. So Charlotte broke into Anna's apartment. And Charlotte was also trying to make Anna think that she had been, you know, stalked. We all know how the story goes. Anna accidentally shot her. And Charlotte, you know, has recovered physically because it was a touch and go situation. But she still has nightmares. Now, these two both agreed they want the best for their kid. And she reminded Valentin one more time. Whoever is chasing you one day is going to find the both of you, and it might not end well. She's trying to stress this point, but it's just like, Lulu, stop talking to strangers. Leslie Lou, Spencer, Falconeri. You like talking to strangers, and you led the strangers straight to them. So they are still talking, and he's convinced up until the point that Dante walks in, and he's like, you set me up. And Dante was like, no. I'm here on my own. And Valentin was like, he's either here with the cops or he led someone right to us. And he is correct because there is a sniper on the roof with the gun pointed directly at Valentin. Eyesight right there. Gonna take you out. So down at Charlie's, Lucas comes in. He's very impressed with all the changes that Christina had made to Charlie's. And, you know, Christina was like, you know, another reason for me inviting you to this, to Charlie's is I found a photo of you and Wiley when Wiley was a baby. And she assumed that it belonged to Julian. That's what she thought. And Lucas was like, oh yeah, this is when we had, you know, done X, Y, and Z, and he's remembering raising Wiley with Brad, and he mentions the incident with Willow on Christmas Eve. And Lucas is trying to be sympathetic to Willow's plight, but she's making terrible choices. And he was more disgusted with Drew. And it basically is like, he refuses to accept any responsibility. He even tried using Sam's death as an excuse for his affair with Willow. And when Christina heard that part, oh baby, she was pissed off. Rightfully so. And she's like, that's unbelievably disrespectful to Sam's memory. And if I had heard him say that even close to that, I'd probably just punch him in his pretty little face. And Lucas was like, you know, I was tempted. And Christina was surprised that she had heard that Ava convinced him not to. Because it's just like, yeah. her and Ava don't have a good relationship right now. And Lucas apologizes for bringing up Ava's name, but it prompted Christina to have a moment of, very much good clarity and maturity. And she's like, listen, the jury found out that Ava wasn't responsible for the fall, so all she wanted to do was move on with her life. And he explained to Christina that he was getting closer to Ava, and it began the day of Sam's funeral when Danny chased him out of the church, and he and Ava ended up at Julian's grave. And Christina was like, okay, explain to me how she helped you cope after, he let loose on Willow. And Christina was fascinated that the conversation centered on how hard it was to lose a child. And, the conversation progresses, and Lucas mentions that Ava's having some financial difficulties. And his child, messy. So down at the hospital, Lucky comes to support Elizabeth for emotional support for her medical review, record meeting. And she was like, listen, you don't have to stay. You can go. This is going to be super routine. And so he, is like, okay, promise to call me when it's over. She goes into the meeting and she sees Portia, Terry, and a hospital lawyer. And the hospital lawyer is asking her, different questions. And Elizabeth is definitely being ambushed, and she threatened to leave unless she heard Dex's autopsy. I'm not saying another word until I hear his autopsy. Terry quickly told her that they all knew all along. Dex died from a lethal injection of digitalis, just like Sam. And Elizabeth was like, I'm not saying another word without my lawyer. But Terry was like, no, you're not being accused of anything. And Portia is calling this an informational review. And the lawyer asked, Liz questions, but she's not answering. So Rick rushes in to stop the interrogation. And Rick told Liz to come with him. And Portia tried to stop them. And Liz was like, nah, I'm going to listen to my lawyer. And it was like, that's the only time I'm going to agree. Listen to your damn lawyer. However, the hospital lawyer is like, listen, we identified a third patient who died from a heart attack in August. And Liz is like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? But Rick is like stopping her from incriminating herself and doing all that. And Portia explains that they would have to suspend Elizabeth if she didn't answer the lawyer's questions. So I was like, y'all set her up because y'all think she is some angel of death, angel of mercy, whatever y'all want to call it. But we all know this isn't Liz's doing. This is Cyrus's doing. And y'all will see that it coincides with every time Cyrus pops his ass up at the hospital. But okay. So after leaving the hospital, Lucky ends up at the gym where he runs into Isaiah. And he asked Isaiah if he had seen Elizabeth while admitting, is driving him crazy. Okay, not knowing what's going on with her. And Isaiah informs Lucky that a medical record review, ain't nothing routine about that. Ain't nothing routine about that. Something crazy is happening over there. And I was like, I'm glad Isaiah is telling the truth. And Lucky was like, I knew that. And he was like, I'm also the hospital would be looking for a murderer, not someone who made a mistake. Isaiah advised Lucky to stay in town and be there for Elizabeth. So in order for him to stay in town, you know what Lucky did? He stopped by Charlie's to apply for the bartender's position. And then we get Trina and Kai. And we love a little Trina and Kai moment, right? So Trina introduces Kai to the Jerome Gallery. She shows him her favorite painting. And Kai was like, you brought me here because this is the last place anybody would look for me. And she told him, couldn't be more wrong. Because listen, you football, I'm art. Nobody thinks a football player or jock is into art. And Trina was like, I want you to see my favorite place in the world. She also wanted his opinion on a painting she loved very much. So they're having a cute little moment. He's not really paying attention to the painting, and more importantly, he's paying attention to Trina. And she was like, what you got going on? And he was like, listen, the painting has too many scribbles for me. It reminds me of something my little cousin would do. And Trina was like, listen, I thought the same thing when I first saw it. But then, I looked at it more. I actually studied it. And it's not the scribbles, it's the color composition. And it's just like, okay, we're getting into art. We're loving it. We're enjoying it. Love to see it. And Kai was like, I'm not looking at the painting anymore. I'm looking at you. And Trina was like, I want you to look at the painting instead and tell me what you see upon second glance. And Kai gave her the perfect answer she needed. this painting reminds me of you because every time I look at you, I see something new too. And I was like, oh, it's so cute. It is. But that was it for the GH before the new year. I think Valentin is very grimy for being like, oh, you're not her mother. You don't really know what it is to be a mother. You're a mother in name only, because we know how Charlotte came to be. And we also know the steps you took to try to keep Lulu and Charlotte apart. And they would have been together had it not been for Cyrus having Julian blow up the floating rib and her hitting her head. Like, we all know these things. And let's just say this, no child is safe nowhere else. But right now, I don't think she's safer with Valentin. I don't think she's safer in Port Charles. She low-key, high-key might be safer at the damn boarding school. If we being honest, she would really be safer at the boarding school, because at least we know she's safe. And the only way somebody could check her out is if she checks herself out or if her parents check her out. Somebody go pick Sunny up off the ground. Kai and Trina are growing. Ava, I'm just going to need you to let the Cassadine fortune go and figure out how to get your money up, because at this point it's a mess. And I wonder how Sunny's health is going to play into his custody situation. And I want Christina to confront Drew. I want all. And when I say all, I want all the Lansing Davis, Corinthos women to come together and confront Drew about using Sam's memory as an excuse, or her death as an excuse to sleep with his nephew's wife. I want them to tear him a new a-hole. I do. Because how dare you, bitch? How dare you? Disrespectful. But with that being said, that was it. That was all I don't have more to give y'all for this GH recap. I hope to see y'all for the next one. Don't forget to hit all those links in the description box down below. Hit the notification bell to keep up to date about everything. Hit the like button and also hit the subscribe button. And I'll see y'all for the next one. Bye.